Evil Planet.
There's times where it's like, oh man, there's actually a glimmer of hope that things, can turn around, but then it's like, man, I'm just completely fucking black-pilled.
Yeah.
So I kind of just like alternate.
Yeah. I mean, I have shit in my daily life that I'm like, okay, I'd rather be doing this than like focusing on, this shit.
Yeah.
So at least I have shit to like preoccupy my mind so I don't like constantly think about like negative shit like that. Like things out of my control.
Yeah.
But, every once in a while, like smoke too much weed or something, get paranoid, get anxious, and you're like, oh fuck man, the world's gonna fucking explode.
I don't even think at this point it takes much to feel paranoid and anxious about things just because things are like so overall bad right now. Like things can still change certain things. There's other things that we're just going to have to face and adapt, but
I don't necessarily think about like getting attacked, but I think about like the affordability of things a lot. I think about if I get like some kind of like surprise bill, am I going to be able to pay that shit?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
We've just been like collecting stories in the Evil Planet document here. I've collected some to talk about today because there's still some stuff we have to catch up on. But for today, we're going to talk about ICE. And we'll get to this point later on when we conclude a lot of the news that we have to go over here. But don't think that just because it's like mostly out of the news for now that this whole thing is over. Like it's still going on, but it's more going on behind the scenes, and the Trump administration is trying to distract from it. So be vigilant. The first story that we have here, we're not going to cover the whole thing. I've got some choice excerpts from this article by Ken Klippenstein. The main point here with this article, though, is that ICE agents are scared, paranoid, they have low morale, and a lot of them are privately criticizing the shootings that have been going on. And that's another thing, too, like another thing that hasn't made it into the news. There's been more people killed by ICE. Let me ask this, too. Have either of you seen stories about the ICE killing from 2025? This was before Renee Good. This is before Alex Preddy. This was before the whole Minneapolis thing even popped off. This is like, it's really fucking crazy. Like, it just makes you wonder how many people have they murdered. It's got to be a lot. Let me see if I can actually pull this quick here. Yes, this is it. Ruben Ray Martinez. U.S. citizen shot and killed by federal immigration agent last year, new records show. In Texas. Newly released records show a U.S. citizen was shot and killed in Texas by a federal immigration agent last year during a late-night traffic encounter that was not publicly disclosed by the Department of Homeland Security. The death of Ruben Ray Martinez, age 23, would mark the earliest of at least 6 deadly shootings by federal officers since the start of a nationwide immigration crackdown in Donald Trump's second term.
Dude, it's a scary time, especially if you're like Latino or you're just dark skin, you're like native, get fucking profiled. I mean, now,
if you like live near the border too.
Yeah, live in
Mexico,
Texas,
border.
You live in the Southwest.
But yeah, this was just about a year ago, March 15th. This guy Martinez was killed. Local media reported that he was killed at the time, but federal and state authorities did not disclose that the shooting involved the team from HSI. In a statement Friday, DHS said the driver who was killed intentionally ran over a Homeland Security investigation special agent. I mean, I don't even trust that, though, because they said
Bullshit.
that, like, I don't trust that. You can't trust these fuckers at all when they say
They're
this
pathological liars. Like, fuck them.
shit. Yeah.
Just like Renee Good tried to run.
Yeah. Oh, you tried to run me over. It's like the footage clearly shows that she was trying to escape.
But yeah, I prefacing with that shit, this article by Ken Klippenstein here. So we have I'll just get into it. I have some excerpts because it's kind of a long article. Quote, the best they can do is shoot the guy in the back. End quote. That's not the voice of some liberal commentator. That's what a Homeland Security officer told me this weekend, one of over half a dozen who have reached out to express their alarm over the killing of Alex Preddy in Minneapolis and beyond. I've listened to the stories and the beefs of immigration officers in Minneapolis across the country, and to a person, they all blame the shooter, one of their own. The major media is stuck on framing the killing of Alex Preddy as some national and partisan battle, highlighting Republicans breaking ranks, the NRA protesting, MAGA wavering, and Chuck Schumer doing whatever he's doing. But no one is really capturing what the federal law enforcement officers on the ground are thinking. The truth is that they're fed up and have been for weeks. They paint a picture that is more Police Academy or even Reno 911 than a Gestapo on the march. Yes, they agree that Washington is a huge problem and are uncomfortable with the mission creep that is taking them away from actual immigration enforcement. But internally, theirs is also a story of gung-ho 19-year-olds, drunken stakeouts, and senior officers disappearing into meetings and all of a sudden needing time off. They are also frustrated with the narrative unfolding and the information war being waged from Washington, including the flamboyant defense of the shooting and other controversial moves on the ground. We have a quote here. As much as I support this administration, there needs to be more common sense in situations like this, not a knee-jerk damage control narrative that does not line up with the evidence on video, said one Border Patrol agent in a private chat group that was shared with Ken. This individual was shot 8 to 9 times while unarmed. Yeah, like, fuck these ICE agents. Fuck them doing even routine, and this is me editorializing, obviously, but fuck them even doing this bullshit routine immigration shit, because they're just fucking...
It's an excuse to literally just murder people.
Yeah, I will say, I thought this article was important to share, but on a certain extent, this is kind of like, because Kenny Clips is kind of making it seem like these guys are, they're just bumbling bureaucrats who are trying to do their jobs. So, like, I don't like that perspective,
libs, man.
But it is important that he's got all these quotes, because even these fucking apparent ICE insiders, these fucking ones who don't approve of what's going on, they're just like, no, this is bullshit. I think the most important takeaway here is that they're fucking scared and they're fucking paranoid, and it's chaotic on the inside, like whatever's going on with DHS and ICE here. Like, let me read some more here. An ICE agent was even more critical of it. Quote, yet another justified fatal shooting, 10 versus 1, and somehow they couldn't find a way to subdue the guy or use a less than lethal. They all carry belts and vests with 9,000 pieces of equipment on them, and the best they can do is shoot a guy in the back. Yeah, like, once again, like, even the fuckers who are, like, trying to take ICE seriously and they're working for it, and maybe they have been for a while, it seems like even a lot of them are looking at this like, what the fuck? And I'll say, like, the foundation of this is like, fuck ICE. Like, they shouldn't even exist in the first place. They need to be completely dissolved. But one of the reasons things have been so bad is because this administration is so incompetent. They've sent in these surges of ICE agents. A lot of them didn't want to do it, so they've sent these volunteers. And a lot of these volunteers are the ones with, like, no training. They're just fucking, like, yokels who are super fucking racist, super sketchy. They even say it here in a second in the article. And they're just being sent out with, like, 47 days of training when they used to get 6 months before. Even for the fucking doofuses going out and doing immigration enforcement, even the ones who've been there for a while are like, this is fucked up. Like, this is worse than it's ever been. Just complete incompetence from the ground up. Or sorry, I should say from the top down. Klippenstein says here, overall, as someone who has been covering this for months, I am struck by how angry Homeland Security officers are with their own agencies and their blunt dismissal of the Washington leadership. All of the immigration officers I interviewed for the story spoke on the condition of anonymity. An experienced ICE agent assigned to Homeland Security investigations told Ken, the brand new agents are idiots. A lot of the guys are honestly pretty sketchy. Another ICE officer told Ken, last I heard, FBI didn't want to help us much anymore, especially in Minneapolis due to the bad press. Another ICE agent told Ken, lots of people are freaking out. Agents are getting seriously paranoid, afraid of being targeted by retaliators. He closed on a plaintive note. I think it's time to pull out of Minnesota. The battle is lost. A senior ICE officer said about the shooting of Preddy, fuck this. So You know, as much as that article might be trying to soften something from the inside, you know, not to necessarily put that on Ken, but it was an interesting framing with that article. Let's just say that. It's very fucking clear that, like, even the people on the inside are like, what the fuck is even going on here? It seems like the most enthusiastic ICE agents right now are the newer ones, who are pretty much all these volunteer or like new recruits, who a lot of them have been reported to have like Nazi tattoos. You know, they're like fucking basically just right-wing chuds that may have even been like unemployed before, who saw the announcements about the bonuses, which are bullshit, by the way. Did either of you hear about the situation with their bonuses?
$500,000 bonus that they don't get all at once. They get like maybe
isn't
incrementally.
Isn't it 50,000? I don't think it's 500,000.
Oh yeah, it's 50,000. But still though, they're making what, like around 50 to 75K for their salary, and then they get the $50,000 bonus that I think comes to them within increments, like over a set number of years.
Yeah. They gotta work for fucking years for it, and I think they have to jump through a bunch of hoops, pass a couple of thresholds and all this, and they're just like, fuck this. Like, this is bullshit.
I think if they renege on their contract, they might have to pay the bonus back.
Oh man.
Yeah, don't quote me on that, but
another scam by the Trump administration. They fell for it again.
Do you want free money? Well, you're gonna have to work for it.
A lot of them are probably
the ICE agents are saying it was a terrible deal.
A lot of these ICE thugs are probably like Boogaloo boys or like Proud Boys.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, it seems to me, and it seems apparent from reading a lot of this shit, that that's exactly what's going on. There are those types of chuds that are like, oh, wait, there's like a Trump militia now? We can just go join it? Okay, cool. You're going to pay me? And of course it's a scam, but...
They're fucking stupid, so...
Fucking morons. Speaking of sickos, we have this here. ICE employees, including ICE background checker, caught in Minnesota sting operation. I've kind of adapted this from two separate ABC. It's like a local ABC. It's 5KSTP. I believe it's for Bloomington, Minnesota. In Bloomington, Minnesota, over the last couple of months, multiple federal employees working for ICE have been caught in sting operations. First, Bloomington police arrested 41-year-old Alexander Stephen Back in a solicitation and sex trafficking sting known as Operation Creep. Cue the Radiohead or whatever it's called, Coldplay, I don't know.
Radiohead, yeah.
There you go. As part of the operation, which resulted in 16 arrests, officers posed as 17-year-old girls and posted ads on websites that law enforcement say are known to facilitate human trafficking, like Chat Avenue. Charging documents state that a number associated with Back responded to one of the ads on November 13th, asking to set up a time around 3:30 and saying he was 38 years old. When the undercover officer replied to Back that the girl advertised as 17, Back replied, "I'm not going to be mad at you." What a fucking what? That's such a weird, creepy... This girl is 17. It's like, I'm not going to be mad at you. What a fucking... What a weird, strange way of responding to that. What a creep. Very appropriately named sting operation here, Operation Creep. Later, the officer again messaged Back about being 17. He replied, "Are you with the cops?" But then added, "I'm chill," and proceeded to show up at the meeting point anyways. He was quickly arrested when he showed up, and officers found the phone that texted the undercover officer in his possession. When officers tried to interview him, he stated, "I don't really know if there is anything to say. It's all there in the texts. Back is currently out on bond." Okay. A real fucking, real champion there. Real science fair winner, let's say. Then a federal employee who police say conducted background checks for U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement and other government agencies was arrested last week in a Bloomington prostitution sting. Bloomington Police Chief Booker Hodges, what a name, said Department of Defense contractor Brashad Johnson, 36 of Maple Grove, was one of 30 suspects arrested as part of an undercover operation targeting people seeking to pay for sex. This is the most disturbing arrest that we've had here, Hodges said of Johnson during a news conference on Tuesday. He's a backgrounder for ICE, Homeland Security, and federal agencies. So when you're getting your security clearance, this is one of the guys that does your backgrounds, which is kind of scary. 5 Eyewitness News reached out to the Department of Defense for comment, but did not immediately receive a response. Johnson's arrest comes less than 3 months after an ICE agent was arrested in Bloomington on suspicion of soliciting sex from a minor. Hodges said the 30 arrests were part of Operation Looking for Love in All the Wrong Places. That's a fucking mouthful. Operation Looking for Love in All the Wrong Places. A slightly less well-named operation, let me say, this one. They added that undercover officers posing as sex workers spoke to a total of 330 people online. Of the 30 men arrested last week, 28 will face gross misdemeanor charges. The remaining 2 were booked on felony charges because they are repeat offenders, Hodges said. One person who spoke with the undercover officers is now under investigation for potential sex trafficking. ICE, I think there was another story too, but like there's just too many stories to like include it all. ICE is going around, they're raping people, they're trying to fuck kids, they're pedophiles, they're sickos. They're some of the worst people among us, I'll say that. This death card thing is really weird too. Another disturbing bit of information is the matter of death cards. Death cards are calling cards left behind by ICE agents. They look like playing cards and are being left in people's vehicles, like so-called detained illegal immigrants. Like you'll find a car just like in the road with like nobody in it.
Joker-esque.
The seatbelt's cut out. Yeah, it's fucked up. Like they're really creepy looking. Like they'll have the ICE logo on them. They'll have these really like creepy, like dark visuals. Some of them are kind of disturbing.
Oh my god.
Like skulls, like just weird Punisher, like LARP type shit. Except they're actually doing atrocities in real life. They'll have details on the cards of nearby detention facilities where you can like try and, you know, look for your fucking family member who's been kidnapped in the street. These cards have a history rooted in white supremacy, such as KKK calling cards and other materials, and are just another disturbing development with the Department of Homeland Security and ICE. I need a fucking sip of water. My fucking mouth is dry. There's just so much to go through here. It's like very disturbing, fucked up stuff. So, another cut from Ken Klippenstein here. Exclusive, ICE's secret watch list of Americans. A masked federal agent taunted a protester who was filming him in Maine a few weeks ago. Quote, "We have a nice little database, and now you're considered a domestic terrorist." Person was like, I seen this. The person was like laughing at him. And they're like, "For filming you?" And he's like, "Yep." Department of Homeland Security spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin's response was firm. Quote, "There is no database of domestic terrorists run by DHS. Ken comes back in here and says, "There's just one problem. She's lying. 2 senior national security officials tell me that there are more than a dozen secret and obscure watch lists that Homeland Security and the FBI are using to track protesters, both anti-ICE and pro-Palestinian, as well as Antifa and others who are promiscuously labeled domestic terrorists." I think we actually talked about this a few times over the last several episodes. They've been using like terrorist watch list type shit that's existed for years in previous administrations to create this
since
like
9/11.
Oh yeah. And they're creating like this Palantir type database with it. Kenny Clips writes, "I can reveal for the first time that some of the secret lists and applications go by code names like Blue Key, Grapevine, Hummingbird, Reaper, Sandcastle, Sienna, Slipstream, and Sparta, including the ominous sounding HEL-A and HEL-C reports generated by Sparta. Some of these, like Hummingbird, were created to vet and track immigrants, in this case, Afghans seeking to settle in the United States. Slipstream is a classified social media repository." Oh, fantastic. So they're just scraping all the data from social media and putting everybody into lists. That's great. Others are tools used to link people on the streets together, including collecting on friends and families who have nothing to do with any purported lawbreaking. So it's just a complete panopticon. There's practically nothing available that further describes what these watch lists do, how large they are, or what they entail. Quote here, We came out of 9/11 with the notion that we would have a single terrorist watch list to eliminate confusion, duplication, and avoid bad communications. But ever since January 6th, not only have we expanded exponentially into purely domestic watch listing, but we have also created a highly secretive and compartmented superstructure that few even understand, says a DHS attorney intimately familiar with the subject. The attorney spoke on the agreement that their identity would not be disclosed. Prior to 9/11, there were 9 federal agencies that maintained 12 separate watch lists. Now officially, there are just 3. A watch list of 1.1 million international terrorists, a watch list of more than 10,000 domestic terrorists maintained by the FBI, and a new watch list of transnational criminals, built up to more than 85,000 over the past decade. Based on that they have a few different watch lists with about 1.2 million people on them. Interesting. Okay. Or no, wait. No, it'd still be 1.1 million. Yeah. So with those 3, they have watch lists with tens of thousands of people on them. They have another one, the watch list of international terrorists, that has 1.1 million purported terrorists on it. That's insane. The new domestic related watch lists, a set of databases and applications, exist inside and outside the FBI and are used by agencies like ICE and the Border Patrol to organize the Niagara of information in possession of the federal government. Collectively, they create ways to sort, analyze, and search information, a task that even artificial intelligence has failed to conquer, at least so far. Among other functions, the new watch list process tips, situation reports, and collected photographs and videos submitted by both the public and from agents in the field. They create what is called a common operating picture in places like Minneapolis. They allow task forces to target individuals for surveillance and arrest. And they create the capacity for intelligence people to link individuals together through geographic proximity, or what is labeled call chaining, by processing telephone numbers, emails, and other contact information. Administration officials have alluded to all of this, though contrary to the Hollywood idea of some all-seeing eye, actual government watch lists are more a patchwork system of lists and applications, each of which might have individual justification or even legitimate purpose to aid law enforcement, but overall form the basis for mass violations of American civil rights. Tom Homan, Trump's border czar, told Fox News earlier this month, "One thing I'm pushing for right now, we're going to create a database where those people that are arrested for interference, impeding, and assault, we're going to make them famous." That doesn't sound insidious at all. Watch lists in general fly in the face of the spirit of the Constitution and the protections it's supposed to embody against unreasonable search and seizure and relating to the right of privacy. We have a quote here from Supreme Court Justice Felix Frankfurter, who said of a Justice Department list of subversives during the Red Scare, "Fairness can rarely be obtained by secret one-sided determination of facts, decisive of rights. Secrecy is not congenial to truth-seeking." A nice articulate quote there. Very true. Now the national security community has developed an interlocking set of lists and applications that are secret not just to the public, but opaque to most who toil in the federal agencies themselves. Asked about the watch list, a Border Patrol agent recounted to me how they punch their data into their own proprietary application, not really knowing what happens after that. Again, these watch lists aren't the all-seeing eye of Sauron that many imagine. They're more like the compound eye of a fly, a fragmented array of lenses, over 3,000 per eye in the common housefly, that collectively form a mosaic. That mosaic, the ability to unify all the disparate lists into one master picture, doesn't yet exist, sources tell me. That, however, is the direction we're going, especially with software packages like Palantir that can be customized to aggregate all that is collected. We do, of course, monitor and investigate and refer all threats, assaults, and obstruction of our officers to the appropriate law enforcement, says McLaughlin. Obstructing and assaulting law enforcement is a felony and a federal crime. Thanks. We didn't know that, actually. Impeding federal law enforcement has emerged as the Trump administration's primary justification for actions against people like Renee Good and Alex Preddy, as part of its new effort to support its operation in places like Minneapolis and Los Angeles. The Homeland Security Department, working with the Justice Department, has started more methodically tracking what it calls aggressive protesters, According to one senior official, this is a new designation the agency uses to describe the supposed threat posed by people on the streets. Both Good and Preddy were considered aggressive protesters, in Good's case, for criticizing ICE officers while operating a vehicle, and in Preddy's case, getting up close to immigration officers while filming them. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche alluded to the term in a recent CNN interview, saying he, referring to Alex Preddy here, was not protesting peacefully. He was screaming in the face of ICE. He had a phone up right into ICE's face. You tell me, is that protesting peacefully? There's also another thing I'll editorialize a little bit here. Did either of you see the clip that came out about Alex Preddy, who was shot? There was like a clip where he was protesting, I think a couple days before he was shot at a different thing in Minneapolis. And I think he like kicked the bumper of an ICE vehicle after a couple ICE officers had gotten into it. And he was screaming like, fuck you with them. You know, he didn't like physically assault them. He did kick their vehicle, but you know, like that's not grounds to really do anything except maybe fucking arrest him and then release him with what, a fucking like misdemeanor. But no, they actually got out of their vehicle and they beat the shit out of him and they broke one of his ribs and really fucked him up. And he still went out after that and was protesting, and that's when they shot him, which makes me think that they knew and that's why they killed him.
Yeah, it was definitely targeted.
Yeah, and the worst thing he did was just, you know, property damage. Do you think they were able to like, do you think like they recognized him, or they used like
maybe
AI to match him?
I'm looking at it right here. This is like what? Like you go to the you go to the fucking mechanic and you get it fixed in like an hour, maybe. So
More or less.
But you can see in the video here, there's how many of them that get out and beat the shit out of him here. 1, 2, 3,
Holy
4,
shit.
5.
They fucking rushed him.
Yeah, they beat the shit out of him. There's like 6 or 7 of them right there.
They're like shooting pepper balls.
People filming them screaming at the ICE agents. But yeah, like I've heard, I've heard people say like, "Oh, fuck around and find out." Shouldn't have been out doing that. But yeah, bro. I mean, that's
Gold take.
That's the Judge Dredd reality that we live in now, right? Oh, you kick out a taillight on an ICE officer's vehicle, they fucking beat the shit out of you and break your ribs, and then you come out to protest again. They recognize you. That's when they kill you. Should have stayed home the first time when we fucking broke your ribs. But no, he wasn't a fucking coward. He went out and he kept protesting. Yeah, what a fucking disgrace, dude. What else can we glean from? Oh, this is basically the end here. All right.
Essentially, people like me and Gord are gonna be on a watch list at some point as they, broaden the list of like domestic threats.
I'm so glad you
domestic.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because we have another bit here. Once again, shout out to Ken Clips, because he actually has been on ICE's he's been on ICE Watch lately. DHS is combing Reddit and building profiles of potential dissidents. Homeland Security field agents are scouring the social media site Reddit, monitoring the communications of law-abiding Americans critical of the agency. The spying was revealed in a January intelligence bulletin produced by the Border Patrol and was leaked to Ken shortly after. The subject of the report is a Reddit user, Budget Chicken 2425. You can tell it's one of those like automatic names that gives you a account before you like make one on Reddit. This person is not a narco trafficker, gang member, or terrorist, just someone concerned about federal overreach. The report centers on Budget Chicken's call. It's so silly. Budget Chicken's call for a protest near a Border Patrol facility in Edinburgh, Texas. Though the report acknowledges that anti-ICE protests throughout Texas have been generally lawful, that's a quote there, and that there's no evidence of any threat posed by this Budget Chicken individual, any protest whatsoever near the Border Patrol facility is said to, quote, warrant continued monitoring. To quote directly from the intelligence bulletin, at this time, there is no specific reporting of planned violence targeting DHS personnel or facilities linked to this protest call. However, any demonstration in proximity to USBP, that's United States Border Patrol, in Rio Grande Valley, facilities may present operational safety and reputational risks that warrant continued monitoring. Reputational risks. I love that. They're ruining our reputation. We have to fucking stalk them and build a profile on this random person. which they did here. You'll see in a sec. Budget Chicken's offending Reddit post was on the r/Rio Grande Valley channel subreddit, should say, titled "Join Me in Protest Against ICE." The post is just a few sentences long, calling on neighbors, family, and community to be witnesses and to spread awareness by protesting a border patrol station. Innocuous as this may seem, it is what the intelligence bulletin regards as a threat. At one point, the bulletin inadvertently reveals the intelligence collection requirements driving this surveillance, a window into how the federal government justifies this kind of social media snooping on Americans. According to these requirements, much of the work is sanctioned under so-called force protection, a military term for safeguarding troops from an enemy attack. That's crazy. Like, the way that they're structuring this is like, we are a military and the American people are the enemy. That's just fucking nuts. It's so hostile to just the people, like the citizens of the country that they're supposed to be like serving in a way. You know, like they're supposed to be like public servants, I guess, but they're just fucking like Nazi officers. By repurposing this battlefield concept, Homeland Security is treating a Reddit thread like a hostile environment. Yeah, seriously, this is deranged. But the Homeland
Security is.
No, go ahead.
Sorry.
Speak your mind.
The thought popped in my head. Reddit is a battlefield. You know? Sorry.
Neckbeards draw their fucking swords.
No more Reddit gold for now. We have to keep it in the reserves until we defeat the enemy.
They're all fighting amongst themselves, like in Game of Thrones.
That's how the Civil War starts. Within
on Reddit. But the Homeland Security spies are interested in more than just Budget Chicken. They're using Reddit to gauge the vibe of the country at large and what they think of immigration authorities like themselves. In a section
YouTube
titled...
also, not just Reddit.
Oh, yeah. It's funny here, there's an aside. They could simply consult public polling, which most recently suggests that almost 2/3 of Americans believe immigration enforcement has, quote, gone too far. I think over 50% of Americans now say that they should abolish ICE too. Abolish ICE, excuse me. In a section titled Pattern, Trend, and Relationship Analysis, the bulletin gives a sense of the sheer volume of data Homeland Security collects to generate a big picture view of what's going on in the country. One specific priority asks, what groups or individuals are responsible for or are associated with border violence, and what is the intended impact of CBP, being the Customs and Border Protection, personnel and operations? That ultimately feeds into the creation of databases and watch lists of offending Americans. The bulletin says Homeland Security is tracking 3 social trends in particular: social media-driven mobilization, symbolic targeting of government facilities, and a statewide baseline of mobilization potential. In other words, the government is building a sociological profile of political discontent. The bulletin notes that these protests are perception-driven, meaning they are motivated by generalized concerns about rights rather than specific incidents. In the logic of national security, a lack of a specific trigger makes the public more unpredictable and therefore calls for situational awareness. But it's the granularity of the monitoring that is most absurd. To determine the threat posed by Budget Chicken 2425, analysts didn't just look at the protest call, they scoured the user's entire digital footprint. The bulletin notes that Chicken, quote, frequently participates in various community discussions, listing their interests in r/Texans, comparing the team to the Cleveland Browns, r/movies, discussing the film Almost Famous, r/Stephen King, sharing book collections, and r/fuck I'm old, reminiscing about 1970s television production logos. They're literally like looking at people's accounts like, this guy's thinking of doing an ICE protest. He really likes Nintendo 64. What do you think of that? Like, what the fuck?
You know what pisses me off about this, right?
My fucking God.
We don't have red flag laws for guns, and we have the technology to like scour sus people's fucking social media. So why the fuck are there so many school shootings? They just don't care. They have the technology, Like, if you're gonna use this technology, why the fuck would you use it to like spy on people who want to protest ICE? Why would you not actually use it for something good? To like prevent. I mean, I guess they're saying it's to prevent terrorism, but you know
they don't give a shit about that, bullshit. Dude. They're looking at like Unique Omelet 3636's Reddit account, and they're like, this guy attended an ICE protest. It also seems like he's a big fan of Lara Croft as well as like psychedelics. We gonna target this guy? We gonna go break in his like this is like bizarro 1984. Like they're building databases on people, looking at their social media, and they're like, yeah, we think these people are gonna mobilize. Not only are they talking about protesting against ICE, but they're also sharing cookie recipes. You know what I mean? They're like stalking people on social media who they think are like dissidents. This is creepy as fuck.
Yeah, like that could have been this one guy just writes a post like, hey, we should go protest. So now we have to look at all of his posts and be on the lookout.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it says here. The disconnect between the lawful reality of the protest and the agency's internal panic is most visible in a BOLO, B-O-L-O, which means be on the lookout alert included in the appendix. Despite the bulletin's own admission that there is no specific reporting of planned violence, the Rio Grande Valley Sector Operations Center issued the following warning to its agents. It is recommended that all agents wear their ballistic armor, utilize long arms, and if possible, work in groups. And this is because one guy was like on Reddit, like, hey guys, we should go protest this ICE center. And they're like, put the bulletproof vests on, get your guns, don't travel alone. Like, dude, this is how fucking paranoid the government is about people on Reddit. Like, hey guys, we should go protest. Like, well, sets off an alarm and they're like, go get the guns.
Well, that's how you know that they know that they're fucking up, you know? You don't get that paranoid unless you know you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, there's got to be like a feedback effect going on where like doing all of this is making them like more paranoid and anxious. So then they start like overreaching more. National security brain has so infected the immigration authorities that they now treat a 4-sentence Reddit post about spreading awareness as though it were the secret messages of Al-Qaeda. It is a system designed to find threats everywhere, even if it has to look for them in a subreddit about Stephen King novels. This is an excerpt from an article in The Lever. This is very disturbing, and that's even relative to like what we've talked about tonight. ICE is buying empty warehouses and turning them into concentration camps. It's also extremely corrupt, but we already knew that. Over the past several weeks, Trump immigration officials have been prospecting for empty warehouses to retrofit as mega detention centers for the tens of thousands caught up in the U.S. immigration and customs enforcement deportation dragnet. The lucrative deals to acquire the warehouses are being quietly facilitated by a handful of powerful, politically connected real estate brokers, including one with financial ties to Trump's Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick. I almost used the nickname for him that he's earned, which is Howard Nutlick. That's the guy that claimed that, like, he met Epstein once and was like, you, sir, are a sicko, and I will never again hang out with you. And then it turns out he's in the fucking Epstein emails like, hey, Jeffrey, how's it going, man? Let's go back to that island, man. It's been a while, man. Let's hang out, bro. And then he came out and he's like, okay, so actually I was at the island. And I went there because people were hanging out there. I was with my family. It's like, dude, do you think this makes it sound better?
Yeah. His excuse was like, my wife and I, me and my wife, we were hanging out with Epstein together.
Our kids were there. It's like, dude, you took your kids to Epstein Island. It's like,
you know what's going on there.
We were snorkeling. We were on the jet skidoo, whatever you call it. We were hanging out.
We weren't
having a nice beach holiday.
We were off the coast of the island.
We weren't technically on that island. We were on the one next to it. We weren't technically on the island. We had just parked our yacht like next to it. We didn't technically step on the island. Like all these splitting hairs, like trying to do.
They're on the family-friendly version of Epstein Island.
Well, okay, that reminds me. You know what? You know what's fucking insane? There were like Disney cruises that had snorkeling fucking outings and shit. at Epstein Island and nearby. Like, dude, I'm not even making this shit up. Like, they would go
I'm not
to like that island and the other islands around it and be like, "Ooh, let's have the kids go snorkeling in the fucking." It's like, are you guys fucking like? Do you think Epstein was in on that? Like, that's fucking mental. Oh, these fucking sickos, bro. They had their tendrils in like so many different aspects of society. Epstein was actually the guy that recommended, I think it was like Bobby Kotick or whatever, to put like
DLC.
Yeah, right? No, it wasn't even DLC. It was loot boxes. He was like encouraging them to do that shit. Dude, he's responsible for so much evil. Like, it's not even funny. We have Epstein shit to talk about too in this document, but we're gonna have to leave that for another day because we're just getting to the end of the ICE stuff here.
We were talking about the ICE warehouses, and I wanted to touch on something. So remember back in like Trump's first term, and it was during like the coronavirus, and it was all the ICE agents and all the all the immigrants, all in these like small detention centers, and they're like nut to butt, with their space blankets. They can't even lay down and sleep. They're just in a really crowded cell that's supposed to only hold like 50 people, but it has like 200 people in it. I remember Trump saying, well, I didn't build the camps, Obama built the camps. And now we're in a situation where, well, now you're building the fucking camp, motherfucker.
They are building concentration camps. Yeah, that's what these are. Yeah.
Right in cities, like Guantanamo Bay,
Well, the one in Texas,
down the fucking street.
The one in Texas is like a small town of like, I think only a few thousand people. And didn't they complain because, they tried calling the city to turn the water on to the facility. The city was like, we have no record of you people setting up here. We didn't.
Yeah, they didn't even ask. They didn't ask. They didn't set anything up. They're just coming in and like seizing shit and setting it up. And they're like, oh, we're the feds. We're setting this up now. And they're like, what the fuck? They tried to get them to turn the water on for their concentration camp they're trying to set up there. And they're like, no. We're like maxed out here. Like the sewer system or whatever, the water system in this area cannot handle anything else. Like, we're tapped. And they're like, too bad. It's like, what? Huh? This is why they're building all these concentration camps and the sewage keeps backing up and the toilets don't work, because they just don't give a shit about anything that actually even like logistically, physically matters for having like the infrastructure to do this. Back to the article here. Outcry over these deals has focused largely on the warehouse owners, some of whom have backed out after public pressures and, in at least one case, claim that they were unaware of the prospective buyer's identity. But these multi-million-dollar deals are handled directly by real estate brokers who promote properties and close sales. The payoff for the sales agents who collect commissions on each deal could potentially be worth millions of dollars, supplying the Department of Homeland Security's ICE's parent agency with highly sought-after infrastructure while bailing out the commercial real estate owners who have struggled to sell their properties over the past year under the weight of the macroeconomic headwinds and Trump's tariff war. Given that commercial real estate is sucking wind right now, just about the only way to make money is to leverage political connections to become involved in the heavily political spaces of AI data centers and deportation infrastructure, said Jeff Hauser, executive director of the Revolving Door Project, a government watchdog group tracking conflicts of interest. Homeland Security has purchased several of these facilities in recent weeks, including one in Arizona for $70 million and one in Maryland for more than $100 million. Two facilities, $170 million. Holy shit, dude. This is like, they're definitely overpaying for shit. It's super corrupt. Other deals, however, have been held up by public backlash.
$38 trillion deficit, by the way.
Yeah, dude, that's where all this money from the fucking Department of Homeland Security budget is going to. It's for all this shit, super corrupt deals, overpaying for fucking real estate. Definitely a lot of fucking self-dealing and just bullshit going on. I don't know if they have it in this article, but did you guys hear about the fucking porta potty company? I think it was for Alligator Alcatraz. that got like millions of dollars in contracts. It was absolutely insane. There's so much corruption and graft going on. It's probably like damn near impossible to track it all unless you have a system set up for it, which it sounds like this revolving door project is a part of.
Alligator Alcatraz didn't have any indoor plumbing, did it? It just had a tent and cages, right?
I'm not super familiar of the floor plans for that shit, but it was like a concentration camp wrapped within like 16 or 17 different like scams involving different so-called contractors and, you know, companies that were supposed to do this and that. I don't think it's necessarily money laundering. I think it's just like, I think it's probably closer to just straight up embezzling money. That's what I think a lot of this is too, like embezzling money, misappropriating these funds for like personal use. These fucking government officials having slush funds makes me, you know, like what I think of when I just said that too is like Kash Patel flying around to all these fucking things where he's like having dinner with his girlfriend or she's singing fucking the national anthem at a WWE game, or he's like flying over to like fucking party with the hockey team that just won, you know, in the fucking Olympics or whatever. You see the video where he's like fucking chugging a beer in like the changing room with that team, like, yeah, oh, we won. It's like, don't you have a fucking job to do? This guy never works. Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah. Well, if he has to go into work, he has to go like figure out why, you know, who shot Charlie Kirk, and he doesn't want to do that.
Oh my God, just to bring it up randomly, there was another story I saw where that investigation was totally bungled and held up, at least in part, because they couldn't use the fucking plane, the FBI plane, to go like send people over or whatever, because Kash Patel was using it for fucking personal shit. And now they're fucking pissed at him over that and all the other shit. Like, dude, he's almost certainly like the worst person who's ever run the FBI ever.
How old is his girlfriend? Like 27? I know she's younger than we are.
I don't know.
Around,
how old is the Israeli honeypot these days typically?
How old is Erica Kirk? It's about that
like
old.
30. She was like Charlie's age, so
she was deployed years earlier though, so there's going to be an age disparity there.
This is the newer model.
Who knows if it's even her real age that's listed?
Did you both see the thing that Candace Owens dropped where it's like
an expose or whatever?
Like it's like the good wife or whatever. Like it's this crazy shit. Hold up, wait.
Bro, have you seen Candace? Candace is like saying that Charlie has like he has like special
he was like Harry Potter, dude. He like walked by lights and they would like twinkle or whatever, you know?
He went to like a special cool school for gifted children. Like he was
look at this.
He was like 11.
Do you see the fucking thumbnail here? Bride of Charlie. Wait, hold on.
Trump says that Kirk has died after
after being shot at Utah Valley University.
The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead.
The legend. Wait, did you say the legendary?
The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry.
I didn't even get to one kiss alive.
That young man, I forgive him.
Fake tears. Dude, she capitalized on his death.
Take your time.
Erica Kirk has been named the new CEO of Turning Point USA.
My husband's dead. Like, I'm not trying to be morbid, but he's dead.
It's weird to say dead. Excited.
It's literally that literally reminds me of Bill Gates talking about like
event of the century.
Like, yeah, he's dead.
Merch, hats.
We have 50,000 plus
kind of like
hat orders.
Nobody knows why she's out there in a glittering pantsuit in a recreated tent that her husband tragically was murdered in, throwing merch out.
Everyone reads differently, so if someone's acting weird, don't read into that.
Zionists, the Prime Minister of Israel, all lied through their teeth about Charlie Kirk.
Her operation was in Constanta, the epicenter of Romania's trafficking scandal.
Weird conversations to have with a 15-year-old. I'm going to touch your butt.
$8.6 million to their own shell company. What is going on?
We have nothing to hide. My aunt used to tell me, never do something that you don't want on the front page of a newspaper.
Series. The series is gonna be awesome.
Dude, this is insane, man. The fucking right wing is eating itself. You know,
yeah, there's an internal MAGA war.
Oh yeah, I've been thinking lately, like, do you think about how surreal it was when Charlie Kirk got his fucking neck blown out? He was gushing like a fountain. That was insane. But you think about this shit, like, because it's been about something like 6 months now, something around there. Seeing how it has just progressively made the right wing, like, fucking fall apart in the US in a way, or they've begun eating each other in a way that was, like, way more accelerated and aggressive than before, because they've kind of been at each other and like factionalizing for a while in different ways. But oh shit, I see this picture here that you posted, Gord. Yeah, that's disturbing, man.
It really is. Yeah,
horrifying.
I don't see any toilets in there. I just see like lighting, like fluorescent lighting, and I see cages and I see bunk beds.
It's a
they dropped off like
camp.
They dropped off like maybe a few dozen porta potties and then collected like $100 million, something crazy like that. There's so many angles to the shit that's going on. It's nuts.
It makes a county jail look like a fucking
hotel room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Homeland Security. Oh yeah, we already talked about that. That's crazy, man. 2 facilities though, $170 million. What a fucking that's just a straight up scam. What a scam, dude. At an Oklahoma City Council meeting last month, dozens of residents testified in opposition to ICE's proposal to buy a 1 million square foot warehouse southwest of the city. Because municipal officials have little power over the federal government's land grabs, even if they run afoul of local zoning laws. Advocates focused on the corporate actors who stood to profit, including Newmark Group, a broker advertising the warehouse. Why is a realtor who is in charge of economic development trying to sell a property to the federal government to turn Oklahoma City into a war zone? Asked Mark Falk, the former chair of the Oklahoma County Democratic Party and current candidate for county commissioner, in public comments at the city council meeting, which stretched nearly 5 hours. An online brochure for the Oklahoma City property lists Newmark Robinson Park, a local branch of billion-dollar real estate giant Newmark Group, as the broker. Newmark also represents another industrial warehouse nearby that ICE is reportedly looking to buy. Until President Donald Trump appointed him to be Commerce Secretary last year, Nutlick, aka Lutnick, served as the chairman of Newmark's board and CEO of Newmark's parent company, Cantor Fitzgerald. Dude, this is all so fucking incestuous. It's man, it just hurts sometimes.
Yeah, our tax dollars are being used to,
line the pockets of these fuckers. Yeah, as they build concentration camps.
Yeah, torture fucking brown people.
Tell me about it.
And if a white person tries to get in the way of them doing it, you get fucking shot. Yep. They're like, oh, you're a race traitor, and then they kill you.
You're a domestic terrorist.
Yep. You talk about it online in any sort of like public forum on the internet, not like DMs. Mm-hmm. They're gonna fucking build a profile on you.
Bolo.
Yep. Although Nutlick has since divested his business interests to comply with federal ethics law, including his 11 million shares in Newmark, he has passed the company's torch to his son, Kyle Lutnick. Oh, okay. Yeah, totally fine. The younger Nutlick, who serves as the executive vice chairman of Cantor Fitzgerald, became a director at Newmark Group when his father left. Kyle Nutlick, his business dealings have I can't help it. His business dealings have overlapped with his father's policy of decisions on a host of issues, drawing scrutiny. Oh, yeah. Wow. I'm so shocked. For instance, Newmark Group... Yeah. Then the Nutlick doesn't fall far from the tree. For instance, Newmark Group has enjoyed massive windfalls from its data center business, as the New York Times reported in November, while the elder Nutlick pushed for increased data center construction from his post in the Commerce Department. Newmark collected fees and commissions on the $25 billion in data center deals it brokered, as would be the case with ICE real estate transactions. The Oklahoma branch of Newmark did not reply to multiple inquiries from the lever about its involvement in the 2 warehouse sales in the state. According to organizers in Oklahoma City, opponents of the ICE facility flooded the phone lines of the Newmark Robinson Park branch to urge the broker not to go through with the deal. I'm also reminded of there was like a there's actually been quite a few data centers that have been apparently like their construction or planned constructions have been canceled due to people protesting. One of them, a lady like tried to set on fire. Did either of you see that? That was kind of fucking
No,
crazy.
I haven't.
Yeah, this lady was like basically just trying to set it on fire. She's like, fuck this shit. And they're like, maybe we shouldn't do this. Because I think they'd started building some of it, or maybe she was trying to set on fire like one of the buildings that one of the companies owned. She was trying to set a related building on fire. That's all I know. Either a newly constructed or planned data center, or one of the buildings involved with one of the people trying to build it. People are just fucking done. People are just fed up with this shit.
Yeah, it's like more bullshit we have to deal with on top of, working a 9 to 5, right? Like,
yep.
It's like America already sucked prior to this point. Now there's more fucking baggage that we have to carry because of this stupid fucking fascist regime. Like,
yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of the stories I had for tonight, the articles that I had. But I want to mention this too. This is very important to remember. So people are acting like the ICE operations have just like stopped in Minneapolis. They have not stopped. The claims over the last few weeks of an ICE withdrawal, complete lies. Instead, here's what's actually going on. ICE has deployed undercover operatives dressed like regular people, many of whom are persons of color, people of various, like, potentially Latin American backgrounds.
They just have sleeper agents, essentially.
Persons of color. Yeah, they're trying to blend into non-white communities. They're not trying to be super obvious, because a lot of them were just like, very clearly fucking like sketchy white dudes, like in areas where they typically wouldn't be in, like just kind of like creeping around. It's like the fucking undercover cop effect. People are like, who the fuck is this guy? And then they see the vehicle and they're like, wait, is this ICE? So they have like fucking stealth agents. Like the operation has simply gone stealth in order to avoid making headlines and drawing the attention of the average person. The whole like ICE withdrawal from Minneapolis, it's like another Trump lie, basically. They're trying to get that shit out of the headlines, because remember, we were just reading about how terrified they were about one guy making a Reddit post about protesting at an ICE facility. Think about how fucking shit scared they've been and terrified and paranoid and anxious about what was going on for the last like several weeks before the Epstein files and all this shit with Iran and whatever took over, like what people were talking about on the news, because people were talking a lot about ICE before that. And they're like, oh, we need to get this out of the news.
Yeah, straight up just being psyoped by the media.
Yeah. Next time we record an episode, we have so much Epstein file stuff to talk about. Like, just look at this. I've been just like adding like notes and facts and all this shit.
Yeah, I like the current format that you got here.
Yeah, dude, this, like, when we next get together to talk about Epstein again because we're basically doing like a series on Patreon now for our patrons, talking about Epstein every time we do a patron app, and we're just like giving more information. Shit is crazy. Like Epstein was it. Like I'll give you guys a tidbit from what we're going to talk about next. Like Epstein was intimately involved with Bitcoin early on, and it definitely seems like he was like my personal headcanon, just because I think it's ridiculous, is like Epstein is one of the guys who invented or was involved with inventing Bitcoin, just because they're fucking like, think about it, intelligence. He's fucking talking to all these fucking academics all the time, hiring them to like do shit, constantly like picking their minds and giving them money to do shit. It's proven that he definitely funded a lot of Bitcoin shit early on while it was struggling. That's proven. So it's like, well, what else was he involved in?
Well, think about it like this. If he felt comfortable enough to use Bitcoin as a quote unquote untrackable way to pay people, you think
that was really a concern for him though?
I mean, he made Bill Gates donate thousands of dollars to MIT as like some kind of a apology or some kind of payment.
Yeah,
but it was blackmail.
What I'm kind of getting at is, don't you think? I think they felt comfortable just using like, wire transfers and all that shit. Dude, they were emailing each other like, I love the torture video. By the way, can you bring me some more young girls?
I've seen that.
Like, they weren't trying to fucking hide shit. They fucking felt like they were unstoppable and they were on top of the world and, like, you know.
Incredibly arrogant. And yeah, they had the worst fucking OPSEC on Earth.
They didn't give a shit. They didn't feel like they needed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, why do you think that Epstein was super into crypto then? Do you think he just had like this kind of like libertarian idea that money should be, you know, digital and it shouldn't be backed by some government?
Maybe. Yeah. I think there's probably a lot of reasons that he was into it. I think like, I don't know, that's the thing with Epstein too. He had like these weird fucking ideas about things that were not tangible and immediate. You know what I mean? Like, he had these weird plans to like Elon Musk, like seed his like fucking DNA into like an army of offspring and have like a fucking little like, you know, like Epstein cult of like women. Like, there's rumors, and I'll say they're rumors, but there's rumors that they were like using Zorro Ranch to like breed like weird fucking like babies, like maybe designer babies. Like, who knows if they were like sex trafficking them or what. It's extremely disturbing stuff. Like, the guy that owns Zorro Ranch now is like a right-wing fucking weirdo who's refusing to cooperate with them because they're trying to like search the properties for like bodies and like dig shit up, and he's like, nope, fuck off. Very, very creepy, weird stuff. Who knows if that guy was even like, you know, instructed to buy that and then cover it up by somebody else. Like, it's hard to say at this point. Oh man, really fucked up shit. Really disturbing stuff. But we'll talk about that more once we get to recording soon the patron episode with the Epstein updates. Yeah, I mean, anything else either of you want to add onto tonight's episode? A very bleak, depressing episode all around, but that's what we do here at Evil Planet.
I don't know. For me personally, it's just like fucking depressing because, like, you know, the internet's like, you know, I always like viewed it as, you know, my only like basically my only like safe haven, and, you know,
kind of like an escape from real life.
Yeah, and now, you know, the feds, you know, are going full fash.
Websites want you to upload a picture ID now. They don't want you to have any kind of anonymity.
It's fucking like dystopian. Like,
I think Kyle Kalinske put it well in the last few days. He put out a few videos talking about a lot of this shit, and he said, we're basically in the worst timeline.
We really are.
The only way things could get worse is by essentially becoming like literally hell. Like, everyone like at war, like nuclear apocalypse. Like, you really have to get down to like that type of shit for things to get that much worse. It's really bad.
Well, it just goes back to like what you were saying about trying to create Skynet or feeling unsafe and not being able to afford anything. And we're just like playing with fucking fire right now, especially with like this whole like Iran thing. I don't know why the fuck anyone is letting it just feels like Iraq was more justified in a weird way, or at least they tried harder to try and sell us on a war. We were just actually attacked on our homeland, but we haven't had any like attacks from Iran.
Yeah, they tried to use 9/11 as justification for that, but there's no even attempt at justification this time.
Yeah,
they're not even trying to sugarcoat it. It's just mask off.
Yeah, like, we haven't been attacked by them. What, we think that they're going to get a nuclear weapon and just directly attack us just as soon as they can? I mean, we've been saying that they're going to get nukes for like 40 years now.
I think I've even heard that the Iranians say like, no, we think nukes are like not Islamic, so we don't want to do that.
Not halal.
I mean, I wouldn't believe that, but like, like North Korea has a fucking nuke and they haven't launched it on anyone yet. Like, why would Iran immediately launch a nuke at us?
People have been using nukes as like threats and also as deterrents for decades now. Like, people, it's not like something that really happens, like nukes getting launched. It's always just like the threat, the possibility, the what
I think they're
if.
afraid of Israel getting nuked.
I'll say,
or some shit. Like,
I'll say this: I don't support them getting a nuke. I don't want I don't want there to be any nukes like at all. You know, I would rather everyone just start to like denuclearize completely. But
yeah, that's not going to happen. That's the problem. The cat's out of the bag now.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
I think they should just have a nuke to protect themselves, and then America would, I don't know, probably not fully fuck off, but they wouldn't be doing this shit.
Yeah, because of the potential backlash. Like, it's the same reason, like, we haven't ran up into North Korea yet.
I was about to say, yeah. There was that failed covert operation where they killed a bunch of fucking, I think it was like North Korean fishermen, and then they like mutilated their bodies so they wouldn't float, and then tried to hide it. But of course, they're fucking incompetent, so they failed. They're trying to do like covert ops. Dude, the fucking Americans are so... And I'm not talking about you guys, of course, because you guys are American. I think you know that, but like the administration, the alphabet agencies, so fucking incompetent, like so fucking stupid. It's unreal. Holy shit, man. Really is an evil empire. You think, Trip, you were asking me the other day about that, or we were talking about that. And that is kind of part of what gave me the inspiration to name this show Evil Planet, because initially I was thinking kind of along the lines of like, yeah, the US is like the evil empire, you know, we're all kind of fucking beholden to it, but really at this point it's like we're just living on like a fundamentally evil planet, and until we deal with that shit and we have a society that actually comes together, countries stop with this fucking bullshit, and we come together, you know, maybe it's naive to think that we could ever achieve anything even close to like a Star Trek type utopia where we all work together and kind of live in a more harmonious fucking society on a global scale. But I think it's pretty clear at this point that we either need to figure out a way to get there, or we're all just going to destroy ourselves.
Instead of the Star Trek universe, we live in the Watchmen universe. You know, we just need a radioactive space squid to detonate in Manhattan, kill 2 million people. Then China will be our friend,
and we can all sing "Kumbaya," hold hands.
Yeah, Ozymandias was right. Rorschach was wrong.
What a get into Star Trek.
What a world, man. Oh yeah, Star Trek is great.
I've yet to become 100%. A Trekkie.
I've still only dipped my toe into the original series, but like Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, that stuff is peak.
I hate how everything's on a fucking streaming platform.
Oh yeah, I know. Trust me.
If you have like a DVD player, you can get like
PS2,
yeah. Get a season. If you have a Blu-ray player, get like a season of the Next Generation, like I don't know, like season 5 or 4. Yeah, and just
invest in the newer ones that are remastered though, because those ones are like fucking incredible. Like the older ones, like I don't know, they kind of suck at this point. You kind of need to watch the remastered series. Oh man, go watch that so I can kind of not feel so pessimistic now.
Oh yeah, believe me.
Yeah. Thank you both for coming on. Another fire one in the bag. I'm gonna get to
good one.
Yeah, I mean it's like so depressing, the subject matter, but we're getting into a nice rhythm of doing these, and we're getting good at them.
Like I feel more comfortable. I feel more confident than I did, like, you know, when we started like a year and a half ago.
Oh yeah,
closer to 2 years ago.
Yeah, we're still only like 24, 25 episodes in or so, but we're getting along nicely. I hope that soon we're trying to like pick a day to like record these on, so we like know when in the week we're going to do it. And then if we get into or like every 2 weeks or whatever, whenever we can get together, basically, whenever we're available. But yeah, if we can do that, then hopefully we can get these out more often. If we have more time on those days too, we can split the recording session into like 2 parts like we did the other time, try and get more shit out. Trying some stuff here to get the content juice flowing, you know.
sweet content juice.
Oh yeah, so syrupy.
Yeah,
insert the splat sound effect here.
I just don't want to. I don't want to remain, you know, quiet in how I feel about things, you know. And this provides a good outlet, you know, for me. I think.
Yep. And it's nice because with me running it, the U.S. government, if they look into it, they're just going to find me, Canadian ass motherfucker,
running it.
And then you guys are just nameless, faceless, and hopefully, I mean, there's pretty much nothing to link either of you to like any
here.
shit. Yeah, exactly. We're keeping the good Americans safe while they speak out against their evil fucking government. That's what's up. Oh man, fucking disgraceful administration. Fuck. Anyways, thank you both for coming out. Have a good night. I'll speak to you both soon. Take care, y'all.
Yeah,
Peace
see ya.
out.
Peace. Have a good one, y'all.